And then perfect. Welcome everyone to the joint meeting between the Permanent Town Building Committee and the Library Trustees. Today is February 2nd, and we will start this meeting with a call to order.
Okay, I've been trying to write down names, so I may not catch you on this first round. Dirk's here, Fleckner,
Here.
Roach,
Here.
Secor.
Here.
Thank you, Glenn. Siegel,
Here.
Steele,
Here.
Cook,
Here.
Hazelton. Not yet.
Here.
He's
Oh,
trying to, oh, there he is.
Hi, Scott. Karpinski,
Here.
Haddon,
Here.
Roberts.
She'll be away tonight.
Oh, she's away, so she
Yeah,
won't be here at
absent.
all. Okay. Wimberg,
Here.
Zegowitz,
Here.
are Berlinski or Perkins here? No. Okay.
Goodwin is here.
Wait till I don't have good one yet. Liedberg,
Here.
Rainville, Lass,
Here.
Jeff, yeah, Goodwin,
Here.
McCrory,
Here.
Luzitis, not tonight, Fevrier,
Here.
Ancelone, Zhao, Tucker, Volkovich Quarty,
Here.
Bono Bunker, not here. And let's see, I wrote down Megan O'Connell is here.
Here.
Okay, and did I see a Dana someone? Dana Reichert?
Here. Dana Reichert is here.
Yep.
Reichert, okay. And Dana, who are you? Sorry. Who are you representing?
Dana is considering trustee candidacy. She's currently on the Friends Advocacy Board.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Ellen. You beat me to it.
Welcome. All right, let's go. Here we go. Is Scott going to lead or?
No, I was muted. My apologies.
Okay.
So good to go on the call to order. Approval of the minutes. So the January 5th minutes, we need to do a vote on that. So does anyone have any questions on the minutes? We'll start with that. Okay, then can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I think I heard,
I think it was Chris motioned and Wimberg seconded.
okay. Okay, here's our voting. Dirk's aye, Fleckner,
Aye.
Roach,
All right. Aye.
Secor.
Sorry, just finishing dinner.
Yep, Secor,
Abstain.
abstain, thank you. Let me write that down before I forget it. Siegel,
Aye.
Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Abstain.
okay, thank you. Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Patton,
I abstain.
yep. Roberts not here, Wimberg,
Aye.
and Zegowitz.
Aye.
All right, let me see if I can count here. I think it's 803. I'll confirm that later.
Okay. Next is reports on the agenda. So the OPM and CHA report. I think I saw Jennifer, if you want to.
Mike, I'm here and I'm going to just take control of the screen.
Sure.
Okay. In a moment, you should all see the monthly report screen.
I see the screen.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to run through this, and as usual, Ellen Rainville and I will be tag teaming a couple pieces of this. But I'm gonna so the significant activities that we had for the month of January were continuing with the masonry wall infill, continuing with the mock-up framing and installation of an air vapor barrier. To that, we have continued with the steel installation and also some destruction of some of the abutting steel. We've begun installation of the corrugated metal decking on the second floor and safety railing installation. We have some photographs at the end of this. In terms of safety, overall, there have been no safety incidents reported in the month of January. The PCO number 15, which was related to the brick, we had a resolution to that. I'm going to speak to that in depth when we go through the PCOs because this particular item requires an approval of this committee. So I'm going to present that in more depth momentarily. We did provide a schedule analysis to Hutter with some recommendations to them on the schedule format. We're waiting for a response to that, but as of currently, we remain on schedule and no adjustments to the schedule. And the project was presented to the Westford Select Board last week. So most of you were actually present. So you saw a lot of this information. I have our project budget summary. Ellen will be going through this in detail. And if you were at the the select board meeting last week, you will be familiar with all of this. The proposed change orders, we are up to 33 proposed change orders. We have approved and reviewed some. That is a different agenda item on this list. So this particular topic of number 15 requires a vote. It's over $15,000. So we're going to speak to that in depth. I'm going to quickly move by that. We have been tracking some potential change orders as we review those. These are things that Hutter has informed us may come up as additional costs. So we work through these weekly with Hutter and also with the Feingold Alexander team. And this includes some items, including the AV, the IT and technology, which will be, there's some buyout related to that is not under the Hutter contract. It'll be separate directly from the town. Some specific updates on the schedule. There is a potential for a schedule delay identified in PCO 13. That is under discussion and review with Hutter. We have been going through schedule analysis to understand if this is viable or not and if it should be accepted. I don't have resolution to that, but it is a continued discussion point as we work through it with Hutter. PCO 15 had the potential to have a schedule impact, though you'll see that we resolved that and we have a proposal at the table that needs a committee approval from this group, and that this would have no longer be a schedule risk with the solution that has been proposed and negotiated with the Mason. We have been getting weather of a significant amount, as you all know. So what Hutter has been providing a lot of temporary heat and enclosing spaces to mitigate severe weather. Hutter has been doing snow removal on the site. We continue to track this and understand any impact that weather might have on this, but there is a potential for delay relating to weather. Hutter has identified a snow removal area within the site, so they have felt comfortable that they have area to put the snow that we have received without impacting their construction. And as you'll see, they are working through snow conditions using winter condition methods that we understand and would agree with, including temporary heat and so forth. That is included in the contract that is already built with Hutter, so there is not an additional cost to that. It is part of their base contract scope. So as we mentioned, some of the notable activities, as we mentioned, the masonry wall infill, the mock-up framing, deconstruction of some steel while we also install some steel. And the safety railings have been getting installed. In the West Wing, we've done some saw cutting of the concrete. Concrete planks were the primary floor of the 1980s edition. And so we have had to cut some openings into that to install some additional steel. And we've also done some steel angle installation for metal deck. And we've been demolishing some of the West Wing flat roof and also infilling some of the masonry at the West Wing. The roof demolition, the sequence of operations, we didn't just demolish the whole roof. We've been demolishing it in limited areas at once so that we can maintain building enclosure. So demolition primarily has been completed, but there's small areas of selective demolition. Most especially, it's related to the roof so that we can keep the existing roof on and weather tight until we need to demolish it. That's a really common method that Hutter's using. Some of the upcoming activities is exterior wall framing. That's actually started. So the stud installation has been ongoing as well as exterior sheathing board. We're preparing for the second floor concrete pour. Some of the heating of the space that Hutter has been performing has been to enable us to pour concrete to get to the correct temperatures for that. And then, as I've mentioned, miscellaneous demolition. The upcoming meetings, tomorrow we have our weekly OAC meeting, owner architect contractor meeting. Our next joint committee meeting is next month, and our next payment application will be aligned at the last week of February. And the submittals, we are currently at 211. These have slowed down because we are really we're very close, I think, towards the end of the submittal process. And in terms of RFIs, we had an additional 10 RFIs over the last month. So we're up to 106 RFIs. And Feingold has been responsive to these so that we get the design team engaged when we receive them. In terms of safety, as we mentioned, steel erection has been underway. There was a crane on site. The crane demobilized for the storm, and then the crane will be used when steel erection requires it. We did not have any safety incidents in the month of January. Last meeting, we did mention that Insight Risk, who is the company that you hired to do monitoring of the site, in particular water monitoring, which is the highest risk for site problems and site conditions that would be an insurance claim. They continue to monitor, and we had some power issues that had been identified at the end of December. And so there was a site investigation that they performed this month, and they did make some adjustments to the site. There's a long description in here of that description. I've modified the page here so you could read all of it. But in summary, they did come out to the site, worked with the Hutter team as well as Mark Lizitis, who was on site, to investigate, see what was causing some sort of false alarms of the system, and made some adjustments, and then continue to monitor the project for flow alerts and temperature alerts. And we have had no issues. Frozen pipes, I would say, were our significant worry in the recent weather, as I'm sure all of you can understand. And you'll see at the end of this document, I actually can because we're reaching the end of the report, I'm going to flip through just to share with you. This is the dashboard example that was mentioned on that page. So they prepare a dashboard of information for it's a live dashboard that we can use. So these sensors that are placed around the buildings, you can see Mary Atwood has one. main floor, basement, etc. There's sensors placed around the building, and we can monitor them and get alerts when something seems above or below the setting, the temperature settings that have been achieved. So we continue to work with them, and the purpose of this is to, one, prevent a construction problem such as a burst pipe and water, which could have an interruption in our schedule. And number two, the town pays for a builder's risk insurance, and so this process does helps prevent claims and also lower the deductible of it. So this is something that the town has invested in and currently has been beneficial to our project to keep monitoring our temperatures and water. And now for what I think is some of the most fun is to see a couple of photographs of what's happening on the site. So this is on the 14th. This is steel decking that is in progress. So you are approximately in the teen area looking out, and this you can see the opening of the floor that will be between the first and second floor. That'll have a railing around it, but that is an image of that progress. This is some of the west wing, some of the steel demolition that has been ongoing. As we progress further with the steel installation, it's sort of install some and demolish as needed. This is an image of the steel progress. This is on the 15th of January, so you're going to see some photographs because it looks different from this now today. But you can see this would be the children's room on the lower level, and the teen room would be above it in this image. And so the First Congregational Church would be immediately to the right of this photograph. This is an image of some of the saw cutting that happened in the slab of the 1980s edition area. And you're looking up through that wood would be the existing ceiling of the 1980s edition. And this image is very new. This is actually from today. So it's actually February, not January, but just to show some progress, you can see this is also the children's area. So this is the door that you will use to exit the children's area into the new reading garden space. But they have been installing the exterior metal stud framing, which is referred to as cold formed metal framing. And that is been installed around the perimeter, and the blue color is exterior sheathing, and then you can see the wood that is going in around door and window frames. And this is the current progress, so you cannot see it in this picture, or maybe kind of in the distance, but the metal framing has been installed around the whole perimeter of the first floor. And this is going to enable Hutter to enclose the first floor soon, and then they'll move to doing this installation on the second floor soon, so that they could enclose that and get the concrete ready for pouring. Said a lot. I'll stop there. The PCOs, as I mentioned, we're going to discuss when it comes up in the agenda. Any questions right now?
Jennifer, I just want to start with one thing, just a
Mhm.
point of order. Megan, you are able to vote tonight because we have an absent member. So I just wanted to make sure I clarify that. So any of the votes tonight, you are able to give your vote. So if we want, we can circle back if you have any comments on the meeting minutes I wasn't sure if you were sworn in at that point. Scott, do you know if
Yep,
Megan was?
I was sworn in this afternoon.
Okay, so then I would say that this would be the first one. So the minutes will just list you as abstaining if you have no objection to that. And then for any of these matters that we're going to vote on, just wanted to make sure you know that you are able to vote.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Nope, that is fine. Was there any questions about anything in the report? Then I think with that, I will stop sharing and I will turn this back to Ellen, who is going to give an update from the library director.
So before I address FFE furnishing fixtures and equipment, I just want to share that we had a lovely celebratory steel beam signing on January 23rd. Hutter was very helpful in getting a small beam into the old fire station. Police and Public Works granted us space. We unfortunately chose a day that was conflict with the Mass Municipal Association conference, but we didn't have 20 below zero weather and we didn't have 24 inches of snow. So we declared that that was a win. It was a lovely, warm celebration in the Westford Museum, and I have thanked them for hosting us again, at a time when we're without a meeting room. So that was a lovely milestone for us to be celebrating. We have continued to wrap up the choices for furnishings, and Jean, who isn't here tonight, has been an integral part of that process. We're talking about shelving tomorrow, and we continue to count collections, count shelves, count inches of collections. And as we move forward, we will be working on the audio visual for our hybrid meeting room, the security plans, and then there will be another RFR and proposal for signage. And I'll remind you here and then remind you again later, we do have a very brief meeting on Tuesday, February 17th at 6:30, and that's to actually approve bids that come back from the furnishing and fixtures RFP that is out right now under the state procurement guidelines. So we do have that to look forward to. And then maybe we want to just ease right into warrants, Mike, if that is good with you. These are
That's good with me, as long as, does anyone have any clarifying questions for Alan? All right, let's move on to the approval of the warrants.
okay. So the actual invoices are in your packet tonight, but Roman numeral 4 is a listing of the warrants that you will be voting on, and they total this 429,659 and 42 cents. There are a couple of supply orders for our offsite facility from Amazon Business. CHA Solutions is our OPM services. FAA is always standing for Feingold Alexander Architects, and this is both design and furniture. That's D&E. We have Geotechnical Services. Hutter, our contractor, this is their January bill. MOB is actually our lease at 515 Groton Road. UTS is doing building commissioning and testing services, and we get a number of invoices from them as we do from WSP, the very bottom, $1,000. Wakefield Arms, we have a contract with Wakefield Moving. They moved us out of the building. They'll move us back into the new building, and we are being charged for a monthly cost to store antique and numerous pieces of furniture and library equipment that we wanted to hold on to. So that's an explanation of all of these. And again, they total 429, 659, and 42 cents.
So do you want one motion for number 4, Ellen?
Yeah, just one motion to approve the entire warrant.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve the warrant totaling 429,659.42.
Second.
Before we vote on that, sorry, I have one question.
Too late, too late.
I know, I should have interrupted. I see the change request from Hutter for the brick change.
Yes, that is under 5A. So we haven't gotten there quite yet.
Okay, go ahead.
And
Sorry.
And Mike, I wanted to confirm, because this may be the follow-up that people may be wondering. The Hutter invoice of $299,517.93 does not include anything with the brick change. It is not included in that. And if we vote to approve that, it would show up in the next change order. The next month's payment requisition.
Yeah.
Got it. So I spoke out of turn. I apologize, but we have a
No, I was
motion.
brusque.
Second.
I'm sorry, Mike, but yeah, we'll get there next because that's a longer conversation.
Sure.
Buffy, you can call
Yeah.
the roll call.
Okay, can I ask one question? On the previous vote, then, are we sticking with 903? Or am I changing something to include Megan?
I think we should
Uh,
list Megan as abstaining, but go ahead, Megan, if you have
Yeah, I was
comments.
going to say that I would abstain on the January 5th meeting minutes, only because
Okay.
I wasn't part of it.
Right,
So
Megan was sworn in today, so
yeah,
so
so
she's
I'll call
official
that
as of today.
904.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. Dirks, aye. Fleckner,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Siegel,
Aye.
Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Hadden.
Hi.
Robert's not here. Wimberg,
Aye.
Segowitz,
Oh, aye.
O'Connell. O'Connell.
Aye.
All right, so let me make sure I can do this again. 13-0-0. All right, go ahead for number 5.
So let me know, Jennifer, if you want me to pull up the estimate that was in the packet, or if you want to just address this and share something yourself.
Sure. I'm opening up the
I'll stop sharing.
okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. Apologies for the delay, everyone. Okay. So this is a topic that was brought up a few months back, and so there has been some things happening in the background, and so I'm going to give a little bit of history, not just for Megan, who is new to this, but because I think many of you may not remember all of the history. So I'd like to just, if you can humor me, bring you up to speed. So we had a proposed change order number 15 that had been originally issued. And the reason for their request for additional costs was that the brick mason, which is a company named B&B Commercial Masonry, they asserted that the masonry specification conflicted with the drawings regarding brick size, which we're talking about this is a technical term, but one size of brick is called Norman and one size is called standard or modular. The design team maintained that the drawings and specifications were to be read in concert with each other and that this discrepancy should have been raised as a bidding RFI. And so we did have some back and forth on this, as this did go on for a bit of time and some meetings in the background. The original request for cost from B&B and Hutter was for $69,270. We had some discussions and revisions and questioned items in that. They resubmitted this at a value of $55,536,000. I want to remind everyone that the original masonry bids for our project, this masonry is what we call in public construction a filed subbidder. So there's a unique process for this, and we open their bids separately of the general contractor. We did receive 7 7 bids for masonry. B&B was the lowest at $471,000. And the highest masonry bid, we had 7 total bids. There was a spread between them. But the highest bid, ironically, was $1,471,000. So there was a spread of $1 million within the 7 masonry bids. And the next lowest bidder for masonry was $100,000 higher than B&B masonry. We also at CHA, we performed a cost analysis. Some of you may recall that CHA, we have cost estimating services in-house. So we did perform a cost analysis comparing the costs of Norman and standard brick. And our cost analysis identified that there was a differential of $32,000. But we also learned in January that the supplier of the brick has a material cost increase per unit from $1.48 per brick to $1.85 per brick of standard brick. And that had not been accounted for in our cost analysis because this came out sort of adjacent in timing. So as you may recall, this original change estimate, proposed change order, was received to us with a letter from council from B&B Masonry stating that they were prepared to file a claim dispute on this. And it is very unusual for a letter from a lawyer to arrive with a change order. So that is unusual, but we did, and they state their case in here, and they state why they believe they should be owed this. And this is why part of this conversation went back and forth. So on January 20th, we held a meeting where Feingold Alexander, Hutter Construction, B&B Masonry, as well as CHA and the town of Westford representatives were present. And as parties, we agreed that had this discrepancy been identified during bidding, the cost would have been incorporated in the project at that time. And also to avoid proceeding under protest and to mitigate any potential for dispute or legal action, we did agree to settle at a PCO value of $40,000. And that amount represents the labor and materials from B&B, and that document in your packet shows all of the backup to represent that. Both B&B and Hutter agreed to remove any costs of overhead and profit from this change order. And so this updated revised PCO 15 of value of $40,000 represents this agreement. And we also have confirmed that all the material is available and would not have a schedule impact with any of this decision. So that is a bit of history. And so our ask right now to the Joint Committee, this is a change order valued over $15,000. And so our ask tonight is that the Joint Committee vote to approve this change order. As you can understand, this has come through an amount of work to get to this point. And we feel that this number is fair to the parties involved, and that this cost would have, if this issue had been identified earlier, would have been found in the original bids. And we believe it may have been why we had additional costs and bids, but we still think with the numbers that $40,000 is a fair value for this work. So I see Tom has a question. So
who from the town was at that meeting?
Kristen Lass and Mike Edwards were both present for that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And Chris Garpinski was on from the Permanent Town Building Committee.
Yes, sorry, thank you.
So one of my questions is pretty much answered. This is more or less a agreed upon item that we need to vote on formally. I was just asking why there wasn't backup with it, but that answers that question. The second question I have is, can you send me a link to the latest specifications just for record? And the reason I ask for that, this is a settled issue, so I don't want to reopen the can of worms, but most of the projects I've ever worked for have language in the specifications that in the event of a conflict, you're to carry the more expensive material in your bid. And I'm just curious if that's in our specifications or not, or just wasn't discussed.
Mike, I will send you a link to our specifications, and I want to confirm that that language is in here. And so there is um, we did feel that that was owed and that this is why it should have been a bidding RFI and should have been included in their cost. However, we we did that language does cover us. However, there was the potential for legal action here, where I think our Mason was prepared to take this further. And there is there's a potential cost to that, and
Of
it
course.
would have
Yep.
there would have been a cost to argue out that matter.
Understood.
Yep.
Okay. I'm more asking for the precedent of future changes, or similar items for sure. Totally understand where it's like, is it worth the pain to fight? Is it somewhat reasonable? Can we move on and settle the issue? That's all. So, I see Chris, you had your hand up first, and then Buffy.
Yeah, just real quick, since the bids for the masonry were from 400 to over $1 million, that's kind of a large spread. So kind of, I guess that was indicating that, perhaps there was, like I like to call a smell there. Something was smelling not too good. Um, are there other bids that came back? This might be something to follow up after we vote on this, but are there other bids that came back with a large spread and therefore perhaps indicate other future problems that we haven't discovered yet in this project?
I can't answer that, but I can do research on that, Chris. And the only types of bids that we will have available to us for that is any filed sub bids. But as you may recall, we had, I think we had about 10 or 11 filed sub bid trades for this project. So we do have a spreadsheet that shows all of the bid spread on all of that. And so I can share that. And we can look at what the spreads are. I just don't recall them specifically. I've recently looked at the masonry
Yeah.
to confirm all of that information.
Yeah, no problem. Just always looking for leading
Yeah.
indicators to problems that we don't yet know about. Thank you.
Yep.
Buffy?
Okay. I think my question is very simple since I don't really get all this. So, Jennifer, does this mean if we vote this tonight, they will proceed immediately with moving forward? No more fighting, no more discussion on either side. They're just going to get what they wanted and move on.
Correct.
Thank you.
Well, they're not getting everything. Correct.
Well,
Jennifer?
they have agreed to this value to settle the matter
Correct.
and move forward. And
It's a slightly lower value. It's a lower value. I don't want to put the word, I don't want to
Megan?
put an adjective in there.
Megan?
Hi, yeah, I have a question, not so much about the value and the $40,000. But and I apologize if maybe this question has been answered in previous meetings. But is it safe to assume that this brickwork is only going to be on the new addition and not the existing facade that is still up today? And the reason I ask is I see the brick size change from 4.5 bricks per square foot to 6.75 per square foot. And I just want to know, has the visual impact of that size difference been evaluated? So that we don't have people drive by, because it's obviously in the center of town. And is it going to be immediately obvious to people driving by that, this new addition is different because the brick size is so different, or will it
So I think
blind?
I have an answer that is positive because what Norman is a bigger brick. and modular standard is a smaller brick. And what you have on the existing building, the historic building and the 1980s edition, was modular standard. So we're continuing with the same size brick. Norman is a bigger brick, and therefore the reason they're stating it's more expensive, which is accurate, you use a bigger brick and you lay less of them. So you're buying less bricks and it's less amount of time to lay them. But when you use a slightly smaller brick, which is what matches your existing historic and 1980s building, there's more bricks, so there's more quantity to buy, and there's more labor. You know, you have to butter each side of the brick.
Yep, it makes perfect sense. So this proposed change is closer to what's existing, is what you're saying.
Yes, and the drawings state the modular size, and the specifications stated a Norman size. So that is where the conflict was.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm. Is there any other questions? I will stop sharing, or maybe I can just I can stop sharing this. Actually, I can go back to the cover page of the joint meeting packet, the agenda that we have, to bring us back to because right now we are at item 5 in our agenda, which 5A specifically. So if there's no other questions at this point, what we are asking of the joint committee is to have a vote to approve proposed change order number 15, revision 2, in the amount of $40,000.
So moved.
Second.
A second.
Who was that? Who was that seconded it? Scott?
Originally,
I'll take it. Okay, here we go for the voting then. Dirks, aye. Fleckner.
Aye.
Roach.
Aye.
Secor.
Aye.
Siegel.
Aye.
Steele.
Aye.
Cook is gone. Hazelton.
aye.
Karpinski.
Aye.
Haddon.
Aye.
Robert's not here. Wimberg.
Aye.
Segowitz.
Aye.
12-0-0.
Oh, and Megan.
And
Oh,
O'Connell.
my apologies. Oh, Megan, I'm so sorry. I counted you in, but I didn't let you vote.
That's okay. I'm an aye.
Okay, we counted you in. 12-0-0.
Ellen, if you don't mind, I'll just continue on with change orders. So the next item, I'm just gonna scroll so that you can see this. This is to report to you. There's no action required of the joint committee. But in this month, we had 5 proposed change orders that were under the value of $15,000. They're listed here. I'm just going to quickly share some of the information. PCO 10 is relating to some concrete demolition of the existing slab in the electrical room of the oldest part of the building. PCO 11 relates to coordination of the elevator and some additional steel work required for that. PCO 13 was related to some foundation and steel rework due to existing conditions. And PCO 14 is related to some additional concrete removal in the basement. And PCO 27 is relating
Thank
to
you. 27 is correct.
A discovered layer of brick that was hidden underneath the oldest part of the building, underneath the concrete slab that was discovered and needed to be removed. So those are 5 PCOs that did go through the alternate process of review with the with Chris Karpinski and Mike Edwards. I see some raised hands.
I saw
So
Megan
I think
first.
Megan was
Yeah,
first, yeah.
Megan was first.
Yeah, just a quick question. So item 5, PCO 10, is that a typo? Should that be a different
Oh,
number?
Typo.
sorry, it is. It should be 27.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
my typo, Megan, and Buffy, if you'll just correct that in your boilerplate, that should be PCO 27.
Number
And
5?
Number 5, yes, I'm not sure how that happened,
Okay.
how embarrassing, but it's PCO 27.
It's this, so.
Tom?
I see under C, I see 10, 11, 13, 14, 23.
If there's no other questions about PCOs, I want to talk about change orders for a moment. So I hope I'm not causing, I just want to, for everyone's knowledge, I tried to create a quick flow chart of what we use these terms, PCO and change order. So I created a quick flow chart that I'd like to just maybe send to Buffy, and it can be attached to the minutes just for everyone's record, but just the process of what happens in a change order. And I think also this is new to Megan, so it's probably a good time to repeat this. I believe we described this early in the process, but we've never shown this flow chart. We just created this. So in blue, these are things that happen just within the design team and the OPM. When it goes to green, that is where it's within the Permanent Town Building Committee and also the Town of Westford representatives. Orange is sort of with the town manager, and purple is a change order approved. So what happens generally is that we receive a change order from a proposed change order, PCO, from Hutter Construction. The design team, the OPM, the GC, we review the scope, the cost, we go through verification of the documents, we potentially request more information, we potentially revise and negotiate, we could return it, we could reject it, but it sort of goes through this process, and there is no this is a process that we review weekly. After every OAC meeting, we go through all of these, and there's a lot of emails back and forth. After we feel comfortable, the design team and CHA will make a recommendation to either approve or reject it. And then it goes to, depending on if it's under $15,000, it goes to the representative of the Permanent Town Building Committee, which is, in our instance, Chris Karpinski, and a representative from the town, who in this instance is Mike Edwards. If it's over $15,000, it requires joint committee approval. That's the process we've just been going through tonight as an example. After that, we do submit it for the town manager's approval and authorization. And when that happens, a PCO is executed. Multiple PCOs are then bundled together each month, and they form one change order. So we are up to change order number 3 at this point in time. And the change order is what you approve contingency use, because a change order means it was not in the original Hutter contract. So that is when you're approving the use of contingency. And after that is done, the approved change order is signed by the town of Westford and the architect and the contractor, and then it becomes executed. There's a lot of this is paperwork. It's paper trail because this is public construction, and we want to make sure this has been legally, this is an amendment to the contract with Hutter, which is why there is such a deliberate paper trail. But we've made this flow chart to help people understand that multiple PCOs get gathered together and they form a change order. So coming back to this change order, we have already executed change order number 1, which was comprised of these 5 PCOs, change order 2, which was 4 PCOs. Change order 3 is 6 PCOs, and it includes PCO 23, which was something that the Permanent Town Building Committee had already, this was a value of $22,227, and you voted on that in an earlier meeting. We just
Oh,
did
that was
not have it included in a change order.
got it.
So that is, sorry, it's a very long answer, Tom, but I wanted to bring
It's
up
one of
that.
those over 15 grand that we already approved on that level. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I need to go backwards. Okay. Thank you.
And we want to, for the minutes and I think for our record keeping, this particular log of change orders, Ellen and I will be updating that each month. We're not going to remove out the old change orders. It'll just remain the historical log. And we felt that this 22,227, which you'll see in the previous month was approved by this committee. We've
Yeah.
included it in here, and we felt that was the easiest way to
Okay.
keep track of that for future posterity.
And I had shown it in the last agenda as its own change order. So this was educational for me because now I know a change order is a compilation of approved pending change orders. So the proposal for the $40,000 tomorrow will go to Kristen for her signature. And this newest figure of 66,850 will show up as moved from contingency to Hutter at the next full meeting that we have as a joint committee. So you'll be able to see and track that number as it moves out of contingency.
Jennifer, I think that was very helpful for everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer.
Understanding
Yes, thank you.
processes of change requests, change orders, etc.
Yes.
The only question I have for you is just on the PCOs. Are the
Mhm.
subs typically including labor and materials backups or proposals from subs when they quote something?
They do, yes.
Okay.
And
All right,
so,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, so we have the verification of cost. Okay, great.
Yep.
So maybe I'll share a screen now, Jennifer,
Okay.
so I can toggle the,
Thank
and
you.
there we go. And so your monthly Amplifund report for December is in your packet and awaiting your vote. I also included one informational piece about the AV earmark that we've received in the governor's budget through Representative Arciero. So if you would call for a vote for the Amplifund report, Buffy, that will go to the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners.
Ellen, do we need to vote on C with the corrected amount?
Let's see.
Wouldn't we need to, if there was a value missing, correcting the minutes, shouldn't the committee vote just for a record, acknowledging the new value with the corrected change request in the change order?
Why don't you go ahead and do that? It actually wasn't a missing value. It was a
Last month, Ellen listed change order 3 as just only PCO 23 with a value of $22,227. But
Okay.
we actually did not publish that as a change order for requested to the town for execution. So we
Okay.
have lumped 23 with the other PCOs. We've just
Well, I guess
revised
if
it.
if the PCOs are approved, the change order is not necessarily needing approval. It's the change request that really needs the approval, correct?
Yes.
why don't you go ahead and approve the revised summary to date, and that way you know all of the listed PCOs and the
Go
three
ahead, Tom.
change
You have a
orders.
question?
No, well, no, there's nothing to vote on here because we vote on PCOs. Either
Yeah.
we
Yep.
voted if it's over
I
15
just misunderstood what the
or the
discrepancy
other
was.
process is used for under 15 grand. There's nothing
Yeah,
to,
because Jennifer, more of what I'm thinking is we're voting on a change request or PCO above that value. Once the PCO is approved, the change order is just a mechanism to increase the contract value by the approved value, or rebudget the contract in the essence of increasing scope to Hutter in order to reduce contingency. So I don't think we need to vote on that. I just misunderstood the clarification. So I think we're good to go on that. And we can move on to the Amplifund.
yeah, you just fell down the hole. I fell down.
So Buffy, maybe you would take a roll call vote and ask for approval for the Ampla Fund.
Yeah, can I have a motion, please, for the approve the Ampla Fund?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Seconded.
So Mike and who?
I think it was Chris.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Okay, here we go. Where's my list? Okay. Dirks, aye. Fleckner,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Siegel,
Aye.
Teal,
Aye.
Hook not here, Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Patton. Let's see. I got Karpinski. I didn't hear Patton.
Aye. You hear me now?
Yes, I can.
It looked like my screen froze, so I thought I lost internet for a second.
Okay, all right. Well, you're here now. Roberts is not here. Wimberg,
Aye.
Segowitz,
Aye.
and O'Connell.
Aye.
So where does that leave us? 12-0-0.
So I'll just report aggregated interest for the Board of Library Commissioners interest earned on the grant disbursements to date. We only made 7 cents in the month of November and the month of December, but we're up to 155,772.67. And here below you see our account summary as of the posting, the warrant that you just approved tonight. So the far right-hand column mirrors the warrant that is in your minutes and that you voted on tonight. You can see under the top matrix, there is in red a line, the transfers from the contingency budget. So that reflects the approved change orders that you have approved prior to tonight's votes. Everything in blue in the library project offsets are amounts of money and dates that will continue to change. In a newer version of this, where it says CPA grant funds, I have put application under review. We, of course, don't know. It's a competitive CPA field this year. And of course, not only do I defend that Wednesday night to the Community Preservation Commission, but ultimately town meeting makes that decision. But at any rate, you know, our revised taxpayer total, that changes it to 22,345,000. So the number that the taxpayer owes continues to reduce. And the next time you see this, there will have been movement between contingency and Hutter for the change order total that is change order number 3. And the $40,000. So. And then I'll just remind you again that we have one more little meeting. Trustees, well, on the 4th, only I will be at the Community Preservation Committee with the Skylight application for historic preservation. The 5th for library trustees is the morning that the Board of Library Commissioners votes on our waiver request so that we will receive state aid. And then we have that special interim meeting, February 17th, a single agenda item to look at the furniture bid, which then we take as a joint committee to the select board agenda on February 24th. So we do have quite a bit happening this month. And then the normal joint meeting would be March 2nd again.
And I have one small point on the March 2nd meeting. I just wanted to give everyone the heads up that I won't be here. I will be on vacation that week. So Peterson, who is here, who has been part of these meetings, he will be representing CHA.
I also will not be here because I will also be on vacation.
Okay.
Well, maybe
That's
I'll see
it.
you, Tom, if you'll be in Costa Rica.
Okay.
I've sent email to Mike and Ellen. I just sent you, Ellen.
Okay. Mary Ann, do you have a question?
I do. A quick question. So are you looking for all of us to be available via Zoom on February 24th for that meeting with the select board to approve the furniture bid?
Yes, if possible. The 17th is critical because I think we only had 3 members of each committee that could make, well, we had a 4th for the Permanent Town Building Committee, but we need a quorum of both committees. Again, this is Tuesday, the 17th, school vacation week. We realize that 6:30 p.m., a single agenda item to, review the bids and pass them on for the select board to act on the following week.
Okay, thank you. So we will be, you'll be looking for us on February 24th. Okay, thank you.
I will stop sharing. Okay. So I think
That
we're
was it
ready
on
to.
the agenda, right, Ellen?
Yeah, that's the end, and trustees can stay on. And
We just need a motion to adjourn.
yes, and I'll remind you about the 17th in not too much longer.
Motion to adjourn, Mike.
Seconded.
Okay, here we go. Dirk's aye. Fleckner,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Secor. Let's see, Secor. Didn't hear you, Glenn.
Aye.
Thank you. Siegel,
Aye.
Steele,
Hi.
Book not here. Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Madden,
Aye.
Roberts not here. Wimberg,
Aye.
Segowitz,
Aye.
O'Connell,
Aye.
12:00. And we adjourned at, where's my clock? 7:34.
Thank you.